Hello, everyone. My name's Matt O'Hara. I'm a professor in the history department, and I've been at UCSC for quite a while now, since about 2006. And I'm speaking to you today as the provost at Stevenson College. And I'm talking to you right in front of the provost house. So one of the neat things about Santa Cruz is that each college has a provost, and our job is to try to help students make connections academically, both within the college. And that happens especially in their core class, and you'll be hearing a little bit more about the core class from one of our instructors, but also to help students make connections academically across the campus in their majors and with faculty in other departments, but also off campus. We bring in outside speakers. We try to make connections with our alumni. Stevenson has a really amazing set of alumni who are engaged in the college and are really interested in meeting your students and helping them navigate both the university and the world beyond. And so one of the reasons we're talking in front of this house today is this is where I live as the provost, but it's also a space that we use to try to have some of these gatherings. So if we have an outside speaker, if we have alumni coming back to campus, if we have students meeting a faculty member after a lecture, sometimes we'll have a reception here at the provost's house or a dinner. And it's really a great place for students to meet each other, get to know some of the people that I've been talking about, alumni, faculty, and guests. And it's one of the things that really makes UCSC special. We've been trying to do some of that this year, of course, virtually, and we'll be doing a lot more of it, I hope, in person next year. And so thank you for visiting us virtually today. And if any of you would like to chat with me, please feel free to reach out and send me an email. I'd like to hear from all of you, and I hope you're all doing very, very well.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah Woodside-Burry, and I use she, her, hers pronouns. And I'm the Senior Director for College Student Life at Cowell and Stevenson Colleges. We're so excited to be chatting with you in this way. My title is that I'm the Senior Director for College Student Life, but what that means is that I oversee all of the student life functions for both colleges, which is essentially everything outside of the classroom. I get to collaborate with our provost, who you may have met earlier, but between our provost and my position, we essentially get to work with what I like to call the whole student. So all of your students' experience, both inside the classroom on the provost side and outside of the classroom on the student life side. So everything that falls under student life includes our student leadership opportunities, our residential living environment, so where they live, where they eat, who their resident assistants are. All of those folks fall under my purview, as well as all of our student activities and all of the ways in which your students get involved outside of the classroom primarily fall under my purview. So typically at this time of year during our family engagement opportunities, we get to be talking and engaging with you about, how it is that your students are getting involved in their college experience, what their residential living environment has been like. And we look forward to being able to welcome, hopefully, more folks back to campus this coming fall. But in the meantime, if you or your students have any questions about their outside of the classroom experiences, whether it's student leadership and involvement or whether it's coming back onto campus and what that experience might be like, or any of our facilities, or any of what we offer, again, outside of the classroom, I'm the person that helps to oversee all of that and can get you in touch with the right people. So thanks so much for tuning in, and we look forward to engaging with you and your student throughout their time here at UC Santa Cruz.
Hi, this is Marie Yu, Academic Preceptor for Stevenson Advising Office. The Advising Office consists of 3 advisors, myself, Kristen Krause, and Esteban Adame. The 3 of us provide general advising for our students and also support and guide our students throughout their undergraduate education. Currently, we're not available in person. However, students can reach us via email or Zoom video and Zoom phone appointments. Take care.
Hi, my name is Kiva Silver. I am a Stevenson faculty member here, and I've been teaching the Stevenson core course since 2007, so I guess it's already been about 14 years. I'm here at the Stevenson Coffee House. This is one of my favorite places to meet with students. In a normal year, I might meet here in office hours where I could meet with students one-on-one and talk about the readings or talk about a paper that a student is working on. And so this is really one of the focal points of our community here at Stevenson College. It's a beautiful cafe. It has terrific coffee, reasonably priced, healthy food. It is a gathering place for Stevensonians and really for the campus at large. But this year obviously is different. We can't meet at the Stevenson Cafe. We can't meet even in the classroom. And so this really poses a problem. When I was thinking about how to teach the Stevenson core course over the summer, I was thinking, how are we going to do this when such a key part of our core course is having students live on campus? They're reading the text together. They're talking about the text together at places like this, at the Stevenson Coffee House. And of course, all of that is impossible. And so I wondered, given the dislocated, isolated quality of our lives this year, how would we possibly establish a vibrant intellectual community, which is really the hallmark of the Stevenson core course, which goes across 2 quarters. And I really worried about this. And what's been so reassuring and inspiring this year is that even though all of us are isolated, myself included, I've been teaching in my bedroom throughout the entire year, what's been so encouraging and so inspiring is how students each week are coming together, albeit online, and supporting each other. And they're reading the text. And they're using the text, I think, to help cope with this really difficult period. And to me, this is one of the hallmarks of a college education, is to think about how it is that we can apply what it is that we're learning in college to create a kind of vibrant life of the mind that can help us even in the most difficult of times. And it's been so wonderful seeing your students do this each week. In fact, I was just talking to a colleague the other last week and saying the papers this quarter and the papers from last quarter, these papers that your students are writing, these are some of the best, most insightful, most original, most textually substantive papers I've ever read in my 14 years of teaching the Stevenson core course. So students here, the Stevensonians, are hunkering down. They're taking their education really seriously. And perhaps without all of the distractions of college life, that thinking is becoming more rigorous, more creative. And that's just another real source of inspiration, to see the grit, to see the fortitude and the perseverance of our fellow Stevensonians. And it's also been just so wonderful seeing how it is that our Stevenson students are supporting each other each week. So in my class, for example, students participate in online discussion boards. And I give students a few questions to respond to about the reading. And the students respond to the questions, but they're also responding to each other. And they're offering support to each other. And each week I see comments like, "Dear Giselle, I loved how you connected Sartre's essay on existentialism to Genesis. What brilliant and original and important comments you have." Or, "Dear Georgia, what an interesting way of applying the ideas from the Bhagavad Gita to your own life. And it really helped me think about how to apply the readings to my own anxiety and fear and sense of isolation in COVID-19. Or, "Dear Lucas, I loved your comments from the autobiography of Malcolm X, talking about the importance of education in making him more resilient and even more free, even while in prison." So these online discussion posts are just a pleasure to read, because I see not only how much perseverance and grit Stevenson students have, not only how rigorous they're pursuing their reading and their writing in this core course, but really also how kind and how warm and how supportive and how compassionate they are in helping each other out through this difficult time, even in isolation. even when they haven't met each other in person. So you can just imagine what it's going to be like when we all do come back together and we can meet each other in person for the first time. I think it's really going to be magical, and I think your students are really going to succeed and continue to flourish here at UCSC. I mentioned how the readings seem to have a kind of relevance, a kind of liveliness this year, more so than in any other year. The ways in which the readings for our core course can be applied almost pragmatically to our own lives, I think is something that is special this year. Let me just give you an example of what I mean. This is from one of our texts. We have many texts. We read a book a week, more or less. But our last text of Winter Quarter is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning. And on page 135, Viktor Frankl says this about the meaning of suffering. He says, "We must never forget that we may also find meaning in life, even when confronted with a hopeless situation, when facing a fate that cannot be changed. For what then matters is to bear witness to the uniquely human potential at its best, which is to transform a personal tragedy into a triumph, to turn one's own predicament into a human achievement. When we're no longer able to change a situation, just think of an incurable disease, such as an inoperable cancer or a global pandemic like COVID-19, we're challenged to change ourselves." I added the COVID-19 part. But this idea of transforming our suffering, transforming our challenges, transforming our difficulties into a triumph, into a kind of heroic victory, I think is something that all of our students this year at Stevenson have achieved. They've transformed a very difficult situation into a kind of victory. They've cultivated their own education. They've fashioned their own education within the confines of their home. And that has been a magical and inspiring thing to see. And it reminds me of another one of our texts from this quarter, which is the autobiography of Malcolm X, which we just read and discussed last week in week 8. And in the autobiography of Malcolm X writes, "You know, when I was in prison, never had I been so free in my entire life as to when I was reading all these books and fashioning this homemade education for myself." And I think in many ways, this is another tie-in, another way in which our readings relate to our own lives during COVID-19, where students have done just this. They haven't been here at the university, but they've been in their own rooms, fashioning their own education, reading and thinking and writing on their own, and ultimately cultivating a vibrant life of the mind. That's the greatest gift that a real college education can offer, is to cultivate a life of the mind which sustains you throughout your entire life. So, as I said, I've been teaching the core course here at Stevenson since 2007, but never have I been so proud to be a Stevensonian teaching your students here during this difficult year. I'm confident that they're going to do very, very well throughout the next several years of their education here at UCSC. And thank you so much for your support. And thank you so much for your fortitude. All right, thank you.
Hello, my name is Peter Reed, and I'm the College Programs Coordinator here at Stevenson College. Often when we meet in person for Family Day, I spend a lot of my time explaining exactly what it is that I do. So I wanted to give today a visual example. Today I'm joining you from the Stevenson Library. This is a 24-hour access, 7 days a week study space that is very highly utilized during term times. And very often you can hear a pin drop in here, even though there are 30 plus people studying. It is very popular with students. And thanks to that consistent use over the many years, this architecturally unique building had begun to see some pretty heavy wear. Last year, we had entered into a project to recarpet, repaint, and refurnish this space. And that was achieved through a combination of different resources. One of those was a large, very generous gift from an alumni donor to help with bringing the space back to its former glory. The provost's office was able to connect with a series of smaller donors in order to contribute towards the repainting and refurnishing as well. And then I worked closely with Stevenson Student Council, our student government here at Stevenson College, to work with some of their sources of funding coming from student fees that they were able to also contribute thousands of dollars towards the purchase of the furniture that we have in here. Now, my part in all this is largely the coordination of those efforts. I don't get to vote in Stevenson Student Council. I don't have direct contact with those donors in the same way that the provost might, but I can bring those efforts together, see the bigger picture, and it's led to this space being in the excellent condition it is now. We're looking at some of the art that's been rehung in this space that has been in Stevenson's art collection for many years and been tucked away in the basement here in the library as well, that is now being redisplayed. Many of the historical documents that folks like to look at that are from the early days of the college are hung on the wall as well. And this whole space has been brought together, and I'm really excited for when students get to come back and see the new capacity we have here, the new connectivity for studying through the electronic laptops and things like that that were just not existing when this building was first put together. One of the little pieces of Stevenson trivia that I love to tell students about and folks that are visiting campus is that one of the early provosts in a fundraising mission, a jaunt down to Los Angeles, kind of went at the wrong time of year when people were not considering their taxes at that time. And in making his ask towards a group of donors, there was one person in that room who felt sorry for the provost and made a donation of the walking around money he had in his pocket of $500. That was Frank Sinatra. So now our students are proud to have also contributed to the same building as Frank Sinatra, though some of them needed some reminding of who that was.
Hi there, I'm the college office assistant. My name is Christy Vonell, and I use she, her pronouns. I'm the friendly face you'll see if you come into the office, and I'll also answer the phone and the emails. If you need to set up an appointment with an academic advisor, I can help you out there. And I also supervise the student mailroom. Please reach out if you have any questions.
Hi everybody, my name is Blake Redding and I'm one of the coordinators for residential education, or CREs, here at Stevenson College. My colleague Stacy Falk also works in our office, as well as Janine Silvis and Russell Nelson. We serve on a team of folks who live here on campus and provide support for students after hours, while also working throughout students' time here on community life with our other colleagues at the campus. And today I'm sitting here at the Stevenson Knoll, and we have the Rosa Parks African American theme house in the background. That is House 7 in Stevenson Lower Quad. It's a beautiful day here, and we're overlooking the Monterey Bay, looking south towards Monterey, California. I'm so glad that you've tuned in to check out some of our Family Day content, and I hope you get a chance to visit our campus and our housing facilities here at Stevenson sometime soon.